and we can just sit here and kind of BS. Let's see.
I grabbed some stuff I've been listening to, and I grabbed a few things that I worked on. You know.
Yeah, I got pretty much the same thing.
So yeah.
Yeah, I saw the. Is it the bass player from Banshee died?
Yeah, weird. I mean, I've known about it for a while because drummer Dean Kinney's been keeping up with me about it, and he had brain cancer.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture or something from maybe 6 or 7 months ago. Somebody was at his house, and he looked pretty bad.
He was back in the hospital because he contacted us and said, "If I make it through this and get home, will you send me a copy of the Banshee reissue you just did?" Because he played on that third album. And I said, "Of course we will." You know, he goes, "I really like to have a copy up in my house." He goes, "If I get through this," he goes, "If not," he goes, "I don't know if I'm going to make it." He says, "It doesn't look good." And I was like, "That's a bummer, man." But yeah, he died. And according to Dean, I mean, online all over the place, it says he died from cancer. But according to Dean, on his death certificate, it's COVID-19.
Well, I mean, that may have been a lot of people with cancer are dying because of it. So, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Billy? I have a good friend whose mom has dementia and a couple of other things, and she ended up getting into a nursing home, and she just passed away. So,
I don't understand. It's not what really killed them. I mean, they had cancer, and he was stage 4 cancer, and you know, nothing else. I don't get it. There's got to be some
news. They're counting stuff they shouldn't be counting, and not counting stuff they should. So, but I guess let's get started. I wonder if Kevin's in here. Are you in here, Kevin? I may hold off on. No, we'll go ahead and show it, and then I'll thank him for it.
I can't even see. How do you see who's on there? I don't see anybody. Hi, everybody who's on there.
Oh, you can't see the comments?
Comments, huh? Huh. Private chat or live comments?
Live comments.
Oh, there you go. Live comments. David Beck, Thunderstruck. Hey, David Beck, what's going on? I just talked to him on Facebook, and he asked if we were doing this or not.
I figured we'll start with this one since this is kind of the talk of the VC right now. But you've been spinning. Oh, see if I can get it in there.
Oh yeah.
So how are you feeling about this one?
I think it's fantastic. I'm spinning it quite a bit. What colors are your vinyl? They got 4 different colors of.
Yeah, I'm about to show you. I got to thank Kevin for that's why I was asking if Kevin was on here. He's the one that sent this to me.
Oh, that's neat. So you got that's winter, right?
Yeah, I didn't even look at what the sticker said. It's cool as hell, though.
I'm gonna be lame and get off screen for a second. Sorry.
That's cool. I've been playing this all day, though.
Mine's the fire element.
Oh, okay, it's all okay. I got you.
It's all reds, yeah, yellows, and all that kind of fun stuff. Wow, we got a lot of people in here now. What's up? Is that Pearl?
Yeah, that's cool. They didn't have a black vinyl copy for you?
No, I didn't. I pre-ordered it. I didn't even know what color I ordered. I just ordered it and didn't really care.
I don't know why I didn't pre-order this one. Usually I do with the Testament, and I didn't even listen to any of the singles. I purposely waited until I had a copy of it, and Kevin sent me a message a couple weeks ago. You gave him those Eloys, so he sent me the copies that he had, and then he sent me this. So
yeah, it was funny. I had these 2 copies of. I was telling my wife, I said, I got 2 friends who both would love these. I said, I don't know who to give it to. So was it between you or Kevin? And I said, she goes, flip a coin. So I flipped the coin, and of course I sent him, and he had them already.
Yeah.
So he contacted me. Said, I already have these. I said, oh, cool, give them to. And I said, give them to Steve because he was the other one I wanted to give them to. So that's cool that he did that.
Yeah, I would. One of my record stores just opened up this weekend, and I went there, and they had one more Eloy, but I couldn't remember if it was. I didn't know if it was one Kevin was sending me or not, so I didn't grab it. But,
and I'm saying you got another Eloy coming to you in the package coming in the mail.
Oh, okay, so hopefully it's not one that I saw there. So, but man, I've been playing the heck out of this. So what do you think about it? Everybody's been saying that this is their best album since Skolnick's been back. What do you think?
I don't know. I thought the last one was pretty great, man.
I love that. I was surprised how many people are talking negatively about the bad one. I thought Brotherhood of the Snake
great.
was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was high on my list last year or year before last, whenever it came out. But yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it's got great musicianship. It's fast. It's heavy. It's got some fantastic solos, and it's got hooks.
Yeah.
That's what's missing from a lot of thrash bands and death metal bands these days is hooks.
No, we were just talking about that with I got it right here. Hang on. With the Sabat. How do you say it? Sabat?
Sabat, yeah. Now Sabat's a different story. Now, see, with a band like Sabat, I love that album. I have it on CD, but I think it's because I love it so much because I've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
It is about technicality with them. You know what I mean?
I got into it. I mean, the riffs are amazing, and like we were saying, it's super technical. But man, and I couldn't figure out what was bothering me about it. And as soon as you told me there's no hooks in it, it dawned on me that it's basically just 40 minutes of solid riffs.
Yep. And I was talking to somebody else about that today with the band Perpetual Paranoia.
Yeah.
Dale Thompson's thrash band. I found that same thing. I listened to it over and over and over again because I'm like, I love Dale Thompson and he's a great guitar player. Tiago is, and I'm like, what's missing? Why is this not hitting me? And it's just you get into like the third or fourth song and I realize I'm not paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
Why am I not? Because there's not that hook to draw you in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was funny listening to that because I would be getting into it and then it would kind of lose me. And then I'd hear something that would draw me back into it, and it would kind of lose me again. I just don't, like I said when I talked, I don't know that it's something that I'll spin over and over again,
Yeah. So. Well, you can always send it my way. I love that band. I don't have
no, like I said, it's coming to you. It's coming to you. I did want to talk about this one, though, because I've been playing the heck out of this since it came in.
Oh, yeah. Got it right here, too.
Yeah. I spun this one twice today. You did the artwork on this, right?
I did the artwork on that one. However, it is the original artwork. I mean, I didn't change much on it. Only thing I did was I added the old original logo on there as opposed to the nasty, boring
that they did.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, Helvetica.
Yeah.
Like that. So I changed it and put the logo back on it. Other than that, it's the same cover. I brought some of the details out, but it came out real nice.
I think they should have done a black and sepia vinyl though instead of the black.
Should have done what?
Like a sepia and black vinyl or record instead of the black vinyl.
Yeah, and that was 100% Matt Hunt's idea. He likes black vinyl too, and he's like, I don't care what anybody says. I want black. I'm like, okay, I like black.
Yeah.
So I didn't argue with him.
I don't know. On the limited run though, I just think there something a little different to make it over the top. That's one of the things I've liked about the limited run. Has had some really cool colors, especially the.
But the Deliverance was an oddity in the limited run because it didn't get the limited run treatment. Like
I remember talking to you about that. I was like, man, he's doing it for the limited run price, but he nothing said limited run on it until it didn't say anything about limited run until we actually got the record and had the stamp on it. So
right, yeah, it was kind of an oddity. It's just that because of all the stuff going on in the world, they weren't doing a limited run, and Matt had all this money into those, and he couldn't just leave them sitting there and losing all that money. So he's like, oh, I'm not waiting, so I'm just going to release them on my own. So they didn't get delivered. I mean, they are limited run vinyl because they're done in only 200 or less.
Oh, it's 250 according to the.
What's that?
I think it said 250.
Maybe 250.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I just put it in whatchamacallit today. Hey, what's up, Vinyl Guru?
Yeah, limited run vinyl was 200 or less, but because they started doing the special colors, the factory wouldn't allow them to do under 200 for some of them.
Okay.
So for this, like those splatter vinyls and all that kind of stuff, so they had to bump it up to 250.
Hey, so Vinyl Guru, this one is for you. I don't know if you're familiar with Deliverance, but so she's a big Bowie fan,
and so is Jimmy Brown.
Jimmy Brown's vocals, when he sings, he sounds just like Bowie. So this is basically, it's not quite thrash. It's not as fast as their earlier stuff. It's more of a mid-paced.
Yeah, it's more slow.
I love when he has the Bowie vocals. It sounds amazing.
And I love their cover of Daniel Amos's Sanctuary on there.
Yeah, this whole album. Actually, that's my favorite song. Is the Sanctuary cover.
Yeah, that's the. Have you heard the original? It's so weird hearing some, 80s techno band and then hearing Deliverance's version, it's just, and because I heard Deliverance's version first, so I went back and listened.
What's the band that did the original?
Daniel Amos.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, they were. If you see the cover, it's that '80s new wave techno kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very. But yeah, David, he's definitely huge David Bowie fan, obviously. But that album, there's a lot of Queensryche in it too.
Oh no, definitely. But man, when he sings, and he doesn't always do it, I love when he sings, just sings. Some of my favorite albums from him are the ones where he just straight sings.
So I watched an interview with him where he talked about that album exclusively just recently, and he talked about Terry Taylor, who was the producer, who was actually from Daniel Amos. And Terry Taylor was talking to him and listening to some of his solo stuff, and he was doing all that kind of baritone, David Bowie-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you use more of that in Deliverance? He goes, Deliverance fans wouldn't take it. They want the speed thrash stuff. And he's like, it's your band. Do what you want to do, dude.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's see what it did. And that's why Learn has so much of that. And from that album on, he started using more of that kind of David Bowie-ish vocal style. But speaking of Deliverance, because I also had this one out recently.
Yeah, I need to give that one. I haven't even listened to that one yet.
So now this was a crossover album.
Yeah, I love that album too. I've had that CD since Bill did it, 5 or 6 years ago?
Yep. I was able to do the artwork on this one too. The nice thing is when I'm doing all these reissues with Jimmy Brown, he's allowing me to put who actually played on the album now on them. If you look at the members on some of the albums, it's actually like different than was on the original releases, because they would put the touring band on the back because the record company wanted to sell records, so they wanted those guys on it even if they didn't play on the album. So now that we're re-releasing the albums, you're seeing who actually played on the albums. They're pictured. So it's kind of cool.
Hey, Guru, Subversive Kind is good too, but
excuse me.
He doesn't use the Bowie style vocals as much as he does on Learn. And this whole period in the mid '90s, he was doing more of that Bowie style singing, whereas Subversive Kind, he goes back to more of the thrash. He does a little singing on Subversive Kind, doesn't he? Yeah, well,
thrash.
One of the all-time classics there.
I love this record, and the funny thing is he's just so sick of it. He's like,
I'm sure.
He's like, people keep putting it out. He goes like, why won't people just let it die? It's like, and I explained to him, I'm like, yeah, but you got tons of young new fans who are discovering these old metal bands and these old releases. I said, so that's why it's still selling, because people are still discovering it.
Yeah. Well, not just that for us. I mean, that was the one that was getting played on Headbangers Ball and getting played on MTV, and so.
Weapons of Our Warfare is probably Deliverance's most popular album, and I think it's being repressed again soon. It actually, Weapons of Our Warfare
just got repressed.
Yep, it was repressed on
Intense, right? Which one?
Bombworks Records, I believe it was.
Oh, Rob did it?
Boone's Overstock.
Isn't Bombworks Rob?
Bombworks Sound is Rob. Bombworks Record is owned by Matthew Hunt.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Rob used to own Bombworks Records back 10 years ago, and Matt bought it out from him, so he owns Bombworks Records. But in any case, yeah, they was that Dale? Yeah, Dale. Weapons of Our Warfare. You can get it at bombworksrecords.com or something like that.
I think it's on Boone's Overstock too.
Boone's Overstock. That's what I'm trying to say. Boone's Overstock. They have it. It's a yellow vinyl.
Yeah, you've got the.
It is the last pressing of it. It won't be repressed again on vinyl.
It's been pressed enough. Well,
not only is it pressed enough, but they're not going to allow it to be pressed again.
It's killing the value of my copy.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that's what it is or not. I think they have a limit.
I don't know. I'm just joking.
Well, it is. And actually, those blue vinyl ones sell for quite a bit. That's the one you have?
So I got it. I got the original run, but I got the original run on black. The blue vinyl sold out pretty quick on those, if I remember correctly, on the first run.
And the second one was the blue black.
Yeah, I didn't feel like buying it again though. So
I have not only do I have them all, but I have all the test pressings too.
So let's talk about this one, because after you released their the follow up to this, I've been playing the heck out of this lately. So how about we talk about Banshee Racing Time a little bit?
So bass player just died yesterday.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, unfortunately. Yeah, was this his last album, or was he also on the one that you released?
He was also on the one that we released right after that. Yep.
Yeah.
That album was 89, I believe. That album's got a funny story. So they got picked up by Atlantic Records. They were on a major label. They had major backing. They had major management. They had all of it going for them. Of course, they were towards the end of the the metal era. But the thing was, they weren't really a pop metal band or a hair metal band. They were really a true metal band.
Yeah,
with
they're great.
That look. But what happened was, and I can only tell you the story that Terry Dunn told me. Terry Dunn's a guitar player. Apparently, one of the members of the band, I won't say which one, decided it was a good idea to sleep with the A&R guy's wife. The A&R guy from the record company. So that didn't go over too well.
At least they didn't put the recording of them having sex on the album like Guns N' Roses did.
I mean, how rock and roll is that, right? But yeah,
that's not the first time we've heard that story.
He thinks that's the one of the main reasons that the record company just, after the era came out, they just kind of didn't give it any push at all.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, Metal Ben. He said, Weapons of Warfare is a master of puppets, a Christian thrash.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's a little faster and heavier than Master of Puppets. Master of Puppets, they slowed down quite a bit, with the exception of, Battery and those kind of songs. But
yeah.
I used to hear that a lot. Deliverance are the Metallica of the Christian metal scene. I'm like, okay. To me, Deliverance were more of a speed metal band than a thrash band, but yeah, I can see that. They did have a lot of Metallica influence, but they also had a lot of Queensrÿche influence. Always did.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well, those vocals.
I know that Jimmy Brown was a huge Stryper fan as well.
Well, I mean, who in a Christian metal band wasn't a huge Stryper fan? Yeah,
well, Jimmy Brown was only a teenager when he started Deliverance. So I have somewhere I have an interview with him saying, when I was, starting Deliverance, I wanted to be you, Michael Sweet.
Yeah.
So I understand, but.
Wow. Have vocals.
Yeah.
What was I reading about? Michael Sweet's doing something crazy for his next project.
Isn't he working with one of the old
like a black metal album or something?
Really?
I think I just saw something about that today.
No, I know he's working with one of the the LA Guns guys or something like that. I saw.
Tracy Gunn. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something about black metal. One of you guys will have to comment that are up on, maybe you, Dan. I don't know. You're usually up on that stuff.
I haven't seen that Banshee album yet. Dolphin Dale. Which one? The one that he showed? It's
right here. Yeah, this was 89.
Yeah, it was recorded in 88, I think, in 89. That album was not ever re-released on vinyl. It has been re-released on CD, but it's owned by Atlantic Records, so it's kind of...
Yeah. This album is actually any of their release. The only release of theirs that I'm not a big fan of is their brand new release.
I like the new one. It's dark.
Well,
it's very dark.
It's really schizophrenic. There's not one, like every song sounds completely different,
Well, that's what he was. I mean, that's the whole concept of the album, about paranoia and schizophrenia and.
Well, I mean, I know the cover shows a guy losing his mind, basically.
Well, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the mental illnesses, because I know Terry Dunn, the guitar player, who's the main writer in the band, he's dealt with a lot of that stuff in his own life. So, but the Black Sabbath cover on there is just jaw dropping.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah, I don't know. I was just expecting something. Their last album is one of my favorite.
Amazing. Yeah, they can't. I would have been surprised if they could have topped Mind Slave.
Yeah, I don't think there was much. Yeah, I found this actually. No, actually, speaking of Rob Caldwell, I got this from him during one of the Super Metal Sundays on Facebook. Sorry, my allergies are really bad.
Mine are too.
He ended up putting this one up for like $20.
Oh wow! I got a good price.
I couldn't grab it fast enough. That was the only one I was missing, because when we were in Phoenix last year, I got the EP.
I bought a copy, and mine's copy's over there, but I bought a copy from a guy, and it was a promo copy, gold stamp. I don't really care about the gold stamps, but the nice thing about it is when I bought it from the seller, he said it had the sell sheet in it and the biography and the band photo and everything. When I got it, it had the band photo and was missing the sheet that he claimed came in it. So I contacted him. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'll get it to you." He said, "I can't find it. I lost it." How do you lose it? It was in the record.
I've had stuff like that happen a couple times.
He ended up refunding me like $5, something like that. But
let's see, Fraser Dawson. Yeah, I didn't know there was a new Cloven Hoof coming out.
It's out.
Oh, is it?
It's out. I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's still sitting there waiting for a date on Amazon. I should have ordered it from the band.
Yeah, I'll have to look. I didn't. How was their last album? I didn't even check out the last album.
Well, you know, George Call's singing for him now.
Okay.
Banshee's singer.
Yeah, I want to say I've only got their first two, I think.
Yeah, that was back in the new wave of British heavy metal days. But yeah, they've released good.
Oh yeah, they've got 6 or 7 albums. Yeah.
And that last album's great. George Call really brought something special to them. He's just a great singer. I mean, to me, he's one of them classic dudes, you know, like James Rivera or
James Rivera is still my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got that kind of, or Dio, you know, he's just got that classic big voice.
Him, and I've been on a big Warrell Dane kick lately, man. His voice was so amazing. I'm going to show one of his albums.
He never did anything like that first Sanctuary album ever again.
I don't know why either. Well, even his second album, though. His second album reminded me more of Merciful Fate styled King Diamond.
Yeah.
And I love it. But with each album, it seems like he did less and less of those high vocals. I don't know if maybe he was losing his voice. I mean, I know he was doing drugs and stuff. So
I remember reading interviews where people ask him, and I think it was just getting into the 90s where it was just really uncool to do those high-pitched vocals. So he was kind of steering away from it.
Yeah. I wish they would have done more albums, though. I mean, it's amazing that as long as they were together, they had 3 albums, basically.
Yeah, Sanctuary, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they made only 2 official ones, and then they had the demos and the live EP, and then the newest one they did a couple years ago.
No, they had 3 officially, didn't they?
Sanctuary?
Yeah, because I had the one with the Johnny Cash looking dude on the cover too.
Yeah, that was the second. Into the Mirror Black. That was their second album. Their first album was Refuge Denied.
And then they had one like 5 or 6 years ago with like a brown cover.
That was the third album, at least a few years ago. Yeah, so 3 total.
And I still don't have that one. I've looked everywhere for it. They're like $75 everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't remember what that was called. Sun something or other.
I don't remember, but that's the only one I haven't been able to find on vinyl. And I don't know why I didn't get it when it came out. It just slipped my mind.
And then they had the demo CD. Did you get that one?
Oh yeah, I love that one. I love that one. Yeah, I pre-ordered that as soon as I found out about it because I had missed out on the last one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's a great singer. I love his stuff. I got it. Did you buy his last unfinished solo album?
No, I haven't bought any of his solo stuff.
True Deliverance was a bit faster. Metal Ben said.
I don't know, man. I love everything.
I like their speed metal stuff. I like their early years, but I mean, the thing about Deliverance is I think they progressed and they changed. A lot of bands, they didn't like follow trends. There was no trend they were following.
Yeah.
They just progressed and they did the things that they wanted to do.
The only stuff I didn't like from them was more late 80s, and I still liked a lot of it. They, I don't know, they brought in this like King's X thing on some of their songs where it was a little funkier that I didn't like as much. But even those, like half the album was more straight up metal, and then half was more that funky stuff that I didn't get into. And didn't they have one song where he tried to rap a little bit?
No, they had a song where you're talking about Deliverance, right?
Deliverance, yeah.
Yeah, no, they did a song with 12th Tribe where they had brought the that band that rap. I don't know if you call it bands. Those rappers in from 12th Tribe. So they had a rap metal song, but yeah, they had 12th Tribe doing the rapping, and then he played on the 12th Tribe album too.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like that song.
I like that rap rock mix stuff from the 90s. A lot of people hated it, you know.
Oh no, I like a lot of it. I don't know. I didn't like that. So I didn't like when Metanoia did it.
And Metanoia I didn't like the death metal mixing it now. But I liked when Tourniquet did it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool on their second album, and I liked when Anthrax did it, and I love
which
when Aerosmith did it. There it is.
Ripper Owens. This thing is so good. Ripper Owens sounds so good on this.
Ted Kirkpatrick, I've been working with him because I've been doing the reissues of the first 3 albums, and he asked me. He said, "What do you think of Ripper Owens on the last album?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "He was awesome." He goes, "Well, he loved playing on it, so I'm thinking about having him again." I'm like, "Yeah."
Dude, that's the best. Well, let's be honest. I mean, he's back to the sound that we love right here. His last 2 albums, I can't even listen to them.
Well, I was honest with him. I told him his last 2 albums, and my problem is they don't flow because you got different vocalists on every song, and it just doesn't. It sounds like a compilation more than an album. And I like albums. I'm not a singles guy. I want to hear the album. That album flows, and the vocals are fantastic.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't know it was Ripper Owens until I got the album. I hadn't seen any. You know, I order everything that he puts out regardless, so I hadn't even. I hadn't seen any news about it. It was just a new Tourniquet album, so I ordered it.
I'm trying to find what is Dolph Mandel said the one that Steve had in his hand, but I'm not sure what he's asking.
The Banshee. You asked him which Banshee he hadn't seen.
Oh
before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Banshee stuff doesn't pop. That we found a store in Phoenix that had an amazing metal selection. Like half the stuff was signed. They had signed drum heads on the wall.
Oh yeah, I
didn't want to sell any of it. It was all overpriced.
Yep. He even had the Deliverance Weapons record in there. Remember that?
Yeah, he had all the Barren Cross albums signed by the band. He had Striper signed by the band.
But his rock records and all the other records in the shop, even his 7-inch singles, were very fairly priced. His metal records were like through the roof. It's like, yeah, he's just wanting to show these off.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to sell them.
Well, and even that Banshee, I paid probably $10. The EP, I paid $10 more than I could have got it for anywhere else, just because it was basically in mint condition and it was in front of me, you know.
And yeah, you didn't have to pay for shipping and worry about it getting destroyed in the mail.
Yeah, so it was worth. What have you been spending?
Let's see. I got a couple other ones on the front here. Let me show you these real quick. So I've been listening to this one a lot. This is David Reese, Circle of Silence.
Yeah, he was in Accept.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other one here. So, the Bangalore Choir went on sale this weekend. Of course, he sang for Bangalore Choir as well on the Limited Run vinyl, like we were just talking about. And that thing sold like crazy.
Is it sold out yet?
Almost.
Close. Well, I mean, what are original copies going for? $300.
$300. I had a few people. I had a couple people call me a crook because of the prices on Facebook, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't. You're only doing 200 copies. People don't get the cost that goes into doing something like that. You got to pay licensing. You got to pay for mastering. You got to pay for artwork. You got to pay for printing. You got to pay for the duplication, and all that stuff adds up. When you got $25 and $30 in each copy, you can't sell them for $19.99.
Yeah.
So I mean, and people just don't get it. It's like, well, but yet the thing I find odd is they're willing to pay that price on record store day.
Yeah,
for something way more common.
For a single, $28 for a single.
Yeah, and something that's way more common. Oh, we only pressed 5,000 of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 200 of these. So, but in any case, the Circle of Silence did not sell. We still have copies because they didn't sell quite as well as the Bangalore Choir is going to sell out before it'll sell out before it comes out.
I just don't think people know Circle of Silence because I mean they weren't really out there. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah. Basically,
like with other bands, I mean, we know them from Accept, we know them from Bangalore Choir. Those were both decently popular. Well, Accept is huge, but you know. And
then you had Larry Farkas on guitar, who was one of my favorite guitar players. Where's he at? There he is. And of course, he was with Vengeance Rising and Die Happy. And after Die Happy broke up, that's where Circle of Silence came, because it was Greg Chason from Badlands and Larry Farkas from Die Happy. Those two were in Die Happy together. When they broke up, they went and formed Circle of Silence so it was basically the continuation of Die Happy.
Yeah.
And then Greg
Die Happy album, speaking of which.
Then Greg Chason either quit or was given the left foot of fellowship or something before they recorded the album.
Chason, he was in Red Sea, right?
Chason was in Red Sea. He was in Die Happy. He was in Badlands.
Oh, he was in. Wasn't he in one of Randy's bands too?
He said he played drums in Troglodyte Dawn.
Okay, yeah, he's another one. Chason and even Larry Farkas, and I mean, the amount of bands those guys have been in is insane.
I actually have them right here.
Which one?
The Die Happies.
Yeah, man, that artwork came out. That's my favorite artwork that you've done.
Thank you. It came out real nice.
Came out awesome. I love the vinyl too.
Yeah, it's that yellow
vinyl on that one.
And then the blue one. I didn't pull those out because I wouldn't. They're just in my spinning pile. I haven't put them away yet.
Show the vinyl on those because I love the way how the vinyl looks on those.
Yeah, the yellow came out. Did you get one of these? Did you get these?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you get a sticker?
I think so.
Well, if you didn't, you got one coming in the mail.
So most of this right here is Scott Waters stickers that I'm slowly going through and putting in with the albums. Yeah, that one came out awesome.
Yeah, it came out. Some of them, this one's kind of pale yellow, but some of them are more yellow than this one is. That's the thing with the other thing with records is you tell them what color you want, but they don't guarantee. Not only do they not guarantee the color, but they don't guarantee consistency of the color from one record to the next.
Hey, Thunderstrucks, they were released on CD too.
What's that?
He asked if those were available on CD.
Yes, they were released on CD and vinyl. All of them were. The only one that wasn't is Circle of Silence. And the only reason we didn't do the Circle of Silence on CD is because it was just reissued by another company. But then David Reese contacted me like 2 weeks after the vinyl came out. He's like, "You guys didn't do CD, right?" And I said, "No." I said, "Because it just came out." He goes, "Yeah, those are sold out." He goes, "You can't buy them anywhere." He goes, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna put them out on CD myself." So he asked me if he could have the artwork for this one because I redid the cover.
Spider, yeah.
Because the original cover was garbage. I don't know if you remember. It was bad.
Well, that's your daughter-in-law, right?
That is my daughter-in-law on the cover. Yeah. And she doesn't.
Yeah, I remember when you did that one for another band.
Yeah, my original idea was for another band. It was redone for Circle of Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed it quite a bit for them, but yeah.
And no, Billy, your artwork is not your album cover is not the favorite album that Scott has done.
I like Billy's cover. It came out nice.
No, it came out awesome. Hey, it's 10 times better than the original cover.
And country music just requires something different than metal or hard rock or whatever.
That one came out really. Actually, my favorite artwork that you've done is the Fear Not with is that your son, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite of all your album art.
Yep, that was the band's idea, was the concept from the band, but yeah, it was my artwork. But
that's a great album too. I wish it got a little more love.
Then here's some I've been spinning.
Oh, nice.
New Jersey thrash metal band Hades with Alan Tecchio on vocals, who went on to sing for Watchtower. And then when Heathen's Rage did their
he replaced Masterson, right?
What's that?
Masterson. He replaced Masterson.
Yeah, in Watchtower. And then when Heathen's Rage did their reunion tour in 2015 and played in Europe, and they only played one show in the USA. All their shows were in Europe. Tecchio sang for them, replacing Bob Pizarro. The guy could sing for sure.
Little comment from Jimmy there.
My favorite art is Life Force. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're talking about the EP, right?
Yeah, with the night on it.
The night on it. Yeah, that
came out
cool. A lot of work. Yeah, that was a lot of different bits and pieces put together to make that, because I haven't hand drawn things in decade.
Yeah, I found about that one. Actually, I just pulled that out the other day. I need to spin it.
I found a cover the other day. I was pulling CDs and I found one of the first album covers I ever hand drew. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. I should have grabbed it to show people. It's a picture of a hand out like this, and it's got the sword coming through it with like light coming all over it. It was just so cheesy. But it's all hand drawn.
Yeah.
Now here's this one everybody will know. I had this one out. I hadn't spun it in a long time.
Oh yeah, that one got a nice little conversation going on Facebook. Sure
did. Well, being that I'm a Christian, people just seem to have a problem, an issue with it. So, and I also think I like this album. Get me wrong. I think my opinion of it, it's got two great songs on the first one and the last one, sandwiched together with some good songs.
I've always been mediocre on it. I pull it out from time to time, but I think
their first two albums are great.
I think their two albums before it and their two albums after it are better than
South of Heaven's fantastic.
Yeah, well, and Seasons of the Abyss is one of my all-time favorite albums. I think that's their best album, but I mean,
you really can't complain about Angel of Death and then the post-mortem Raining Blood end of this. I mean, that is just like thrash metal perfection. Those.
Oh yeah. No, and
but the middle of the album it's okay. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, is it really better than those first two albums? And It's also like basically an EP at what, 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's really short. So I made the comment on Facebook: is this the greatest thrash album of all time? Which I see a lot of people say, or is it just overrated? And yeah, I got several hundred comments. I'm sure you saw that.
Oh no, I did. Well, and then you always get the comments that you get all the Christian guys that are always complaining that you're showing secular music on your
secular. Yeah, I get that. There's that one guy who every single time I post something,
so annoying. It's so annoying.
I used to get annoyed by it. Now I just find it amusing.
Yeah. No, Billy, you're right. It's not even worth arguing with.
I don't argue it. It's just I find it amusing now. It's just funny. This next one, everybody hates. I've loved it since the day it came out, but everybody hates this record.
I like it.
I know it's different from.
I need to find it on vinyl. I haven't found. I wish they would repress it like they did with everything else.
Yeah, they won't, right? But I don't know. I mean, obviously, the pink poodle look is pretty bad. But I mean, everybody looked like that in the '80s. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, this look is really bad right there with the suspenders. Yeah, that's just.
Well, everybody makes it out to sound like it's glam metal, but it's really good, just straight up heavy metal. It
really is. It kind of reminds me. It's got that kind of early Crew, Motley Crue. Yeah. When Crew was just playing metal before the Smoking in the Boys Room and all that kind of garbage. So. Yeah,
I like that stuff too. I mean,
I do. It's just not. It's just more poppy.
And it's funny. I was talking to Aaron about this a while back. If not for that album, I mean, Theater of Pain. What was that? 83, 80? That was 84, right? That was the album that drew me into metal. Was Theater of Pain, even though it's not metal at all, But that's the one that brought me. That was one of my first metal.
Is it Kickstart My Heart on that album?
No.
What song is on there? Maybe it's what's there? I know there's a song that's got some heavy riffs on it.
Oh no, there's a couple. Is Piece of Your Action? I'd have to look now. What's funny, but I was talking to Aaron about it, and I have I have a signed copy on the wall, but I have an emotional thing with it because that was the first metal album or what I considered metal back then that I bought, But when I look back on it, when I feel like listening to Motley Crue, that's never the album that I listen to. I always listen to Shout at the Devil, Dr. Feelgood, or
Love is always my first one.
For Love,
Yeah, me too.
So,
all right, I'm gonna keep going. Heretic.
I actually have that. I thought about pulling that one out to show that artwork came out amazing too.
This I didn't. I mean, I did this, but it's not my design. I actually have. Funny enough, I have the original painting sitting like 10 feet over from me. It's a huge painting. It's like.
Yeah. So he told you to keep the painting.
He said it's. Well, I asked him, "Do you have it? Can you get me a photograph of it? Because I didn't want to blow up the CD." So he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you the painting." And I sent it to him. He goes, "Just keep it. I don't want it back." So yeah, I was like, "Awesome." But this album's great.
This artwork too.
Really fantastic U.S. power metal. Yeah. And when I say U.S. power metal, I don't mean Dungeons and Dragons, all double bass all the time, keyboard stuff. This is U.S. power metal in the style like Metal Church and Vicious Rumors, where it's pushing towards thrash.
Not quite thrash, yeah.
I mean, this is Glenn Rogers. So
yeah.
I mean, if you're a Deliverance fan or a Hyrax fan, he wrote most of this record, so it's got that sound to it.
Speaking of Deliverance, are we going to see What a Joke anytime in the next couple of years?
Yes,
that's the one. That's the one I'm waiting for.
I don't know if I'm supposed to leak that or not, but yeah, retroactive. Oh. Actually,
are you going to do the original artwork on it with the French fries and the?
Oh no, they were not happy with that. No, actually, when we did Learn this past year, was it 2 months ago? Learn came out. Matt Hunt, the owner of the record company, called and he goes, "Hey, I want to do What a Joke." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I said, "I thought you wanted to do Learn," because I had already started the artwork on Learn. Because he told me earlier when you Learn. He said, "Oh," he said, "Well, do you want to do What a Joke or Learn first?" I said, "Let's do Learn first." I think Learn's a better record myself. I bet some people
love it. Like I said, that was the one I had never heard that one before until it came in last week. And
Learn?
I've played it nonstop. Yeah.
It's such a good album, man. It's slow and moody, but it's a great metal album.
I had just never run across it before,
Well, let's see. This next one, everybody's gonna know it and have seen it.
Yeah.
I just felt like hearing some Dio when I pulled out a classic. So
I bought that box set, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whenever that came out. I sent you that shirt from the box set. And
Yep.
I haven't even played any of the albums from it.
Yeah, I saw him on this tour, so I got a lot. I saw him on the first tour and this tour, both in Philadelphia. So those first two albums are just priceless to me. So yeah, I don't know, just get in the mood every once in a while to hear some Dio.
I really wanted it for what album is that? It was the one album that had never been released before.
Lock Up the Wolves.
No, it was in that box set. It's got Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Cross on it.
Oh yeah. That's Tracy G on guitar.
That's my favorite Dio album, and that's my favorite Dio song is Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, that's Tracy G. Matter of fact, we're
so good.
Rocks Records is releasing the 85 Tracy G recordings. I'm sorry, 86, 87 Tracy. It's called
The Warning, right?
The Warning, yeah. That's Tracy G plays all the instruments on the album, and a guy named Burrito sings and everything. But it's crossover, punk crossover to thrash in your, Nuclear Assault, Martyr, The Crucified, that kind of
Crumb Snatchers.
Yeah, exactly. That crossover, where DRI crossed over into thrash. And
yeah, so I can't remember. One was crossover and one was thrashcore back then. I could never distinguish between the two.
They really reminded me a lot of Martyr, but Martyr's pretty obscure, so most people wouldn't know them. But they were a California band who later became band Betrayal.
Mm-hmm. I remember Martyr.
But Betrayal was pure thrash. Martyr was more crossover.
Okay.
And let's see.
So what about this one?
Oh yeah, I saw Prong maybe 4 or 5 years ago in Arizona.
I don't think they were playing anything off of this though. This is when they were a straight up thrash band.
No, they didn't. It was all your,
Strange Highways. Thank you, Justin. Sorry, Scott.
That's all right.
I couldn't get it out. I love that album.
Strange Highways. I was trying to think of it too, and I love the cover on Strange Highways. I thought Tracy G was great with him. I got to see them at a small club in Albuquerque with Tracy G on guitar, and got to meet Tracy G, and he was a super nice guy. It's funny thing is a few years after that, Ultimatum was recording Puppet of Destruction album, and we ended up signing with a label called Morphine Records. Morphine Records was owned by Burrito.
Okay.
Who was the singer for The Warning. So kind of got to know Tracy G a little bit through that as well, because he was in a band called 8 Ball Cholos that was also on Morphine Records. Unfortunately, before the album came out, Morphine Records went belly up and released us from our contract, and then we signed with Row instead. But anyhow, Tracy G.
They didn't shelve your music for 10 years like other labels have done.
I got a lot of thrash in here, man. I just must have been in a thrash mood recently.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to their new album. Have you heard the first single yet?
No, I stayed away.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet either.
No, I'd rather just hear the whole album. I mean, sometimes I will, but some of these bands, especially if I pre-ordered it, like the Testament, I'd rather wait. But this is their first album, Burn. This is a Back on Black reissue of it. Well, this is the first time it was on vinyl ever. But I played with these guys. That's how I learned about these guys. Is we played with them right after their first album came out. We did a show with them in a small club in Albuquerque.
Well, you're the one that turned me on to them. I knew who they were, but I hadn't bought any of their albums. And then they had that 3-album set on eBay or on Amazon for a while.
Yeah, I like Beg to Differ.
3 albums and the EP. And I've been hooked ever since.
Justin said favorite Prong, Beg to Differ.
Oh man,
I don't know. It's hard for me to say which one.
So I've always liked Prong. I love their punk stuff. I love their thrash. This one is amazing. But yeah. I mean, my favorite from them is, and I'm drawing a blank right now. It's the one that came out after The Cleansing with the Russian cover.
Yeah, I don't remember. Someone's got to tell me. I don't remember.
Somebody will have to put it in there. I played that album nonstop. Hey, Kevin is on.
Hey,
now.
Kevin's here.
Hey, I got thanks, man. I showed this right at the beginning before you were on, but we were talking quite a bit about this. So again, I want to thank you for sending that out to me. I've been playing the heck out of it. It's so good.
But in any case, I love Havoc, but this is still my favorite one. Probably because it was the one I first heard. It's just this is one when I get on doing at the gym and I got to get on a machine and move. I'm like, all right, Havoc, let's get me going here. Focus on.
Well, and that one's like a perfect mix of like Testament and thrash, or Testament and Metallica put together into one album.
With a little bit of the speed of Exodus in there. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got that early. You could tell they were young, and you could see them wearing their influences on their sleeve. But
oh yeah,
I don't care. I liked it.
Yeah, the one dude looks about 12 years old. Rude Awakening. Thank you, Ben. Man,
Yes,
Rude Awakening from Prong is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's so good.
You ever hear Accuser did a cover of "Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck"?
Yes, I have.
I love that cover. I like the original, but I love the cover even more.
So I got turned on to Prong through Sepultura. For the Chaos AD album, they did a pre-release split. It was called Blisters on My Fingers. And it was a Biotech and one other song from Chaos AD. And then it was Snap Your Finger, Snap Your Neck, and Cut Rate from Prong. And after I heard Snap Your Finger, Snap Your Neck, I went out and bought the cassette like the next day of the album. And I've been a Prong fan ever since.
I don't know how anybody, unless you don't like the groove, I don't know how anybody could not like that song. It's such a heavy song.
I've liked everything they released until this last album. And even it's not a bad album. It's not something, it's one of those things where you listen to it, you're like, oh, that was pretty good. And then you never listen to it again.
Right on, Morphine Burrito. That's going to be our new band name.
Yeah.
This next one's pretty obscure. I don't know. It's thrash again, but this is Annihilator.
I know that album cover.
Yeah, it was on. I don't know if you remember the Wild Rags label.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, it was just Texas thrash band. That's just all there is to it. It's just Texas thrash. But this is an EP. I think they only ever released 2 albums. This is their first. They're stupid hard to find. I'd love to re-release them, but
I want to say I've seen it on Rockadrome.
Oh, really? Like a release on CD?
No. I think I've seen the originals pop up on Rockadrome.
Oh, okay, cool. Someone re-released all their music on CD. I have the CD with everything on it too, but the original vinyl's hard to find. Excuse me.
Yeah. Kevin said he saw him open for Jag Panzer.
Oh, right on. That would be a good show.
Yeah, especially early Jag Panzer. I haven't liked their last few albums, but man, those '80s albums are phenomenal. I got an obscure one for you here too.
Yeah,
Strange Night.
That looks like the UK pressing.
This is
the European.
Is it UK or German? No, this is a German pressing.
It's definitely a European pressing. You can tell it's a slightly different cover.
Yeah, I got this one about 3-4 months ago. I got a huge German and UK like 20 records from Germany and the UK. That's when I got the UFO that I showed a while back.
If I would have done my top 5 live albums, that one would definitely be in the top 5.
I don't know. That one's pretty good, but
yeah, for me it would be up there with Double Live Gonzo, Live and Dangerous, Kiss Alive, Unleashed.
Well, speaking of Live and Dangerous, I've been listening to is it Life Live or Live Life?
Either way.
I've been playing the hell out of that lately. I've just been I'm always listening to them. It's not anything rare. I listen to one of their albums at least once a week or every week or two. But man, something about that album, I've just been playing it a lot lately.
Yeah, Metal Ben. Yeah, Accuser did do a 9 Inch Nails song, and I'm not a big 9 Inch Nails fan, but I'm a huge Accuser fan. I love their cover of that song.
I was just listening to 9 Inch Nails.
Right on.
That's funny.
I like some industrial metal. I picked up the Generation re-release they did recently, and I really like that album. Did you get that one?
Which one?
Generation.
I don't know. Is that that's when Matt released, right?
It's Bruce Franklin. It was a limited run vinyl release, but Bruce Franklin's the guitar player on it from Trouble.
That's the only thing, and I've talked to you about this. That's the only downside to the limited run releases is that if it's not something I'm really familiar with, I'm not willing to spend the extra money to buy it to experiment. You know what I mean?
Sure, I understand that.
So
I've had to see. It was a Metal Blade release, so I've had it since it came out. So it's never been on vinyl before, so I jumped on that one.
But yeah, there's been like 5 or 6 of the limited run releases that if they were $20-25, I'd have bought them. But because Oh, you got the Fluence. Nice. I don't remember if you commented back to me about that.
Zip Pearl said, I can't find a decent copy of UFO Strangers to save my life. Yeah, it's funny. There's some of those albums, when back in the day we see them everywhere you go, and then it's like when you want one now, all of a sudden you can't find them.
You know what was like that for me? Music for the Elder.
Yeah,
I used to see it everywhere, and then I wanted to buy a copy of it, and they vanished.
Yeah, I've got two. The ZZ Top's third album with the green cover. Come on, help me here.
I've got the jalapeno colored vinyl.
God gummit. Anyhow, I can't find a copy to see. I have a copy. It needs to be replaced, and now I can't find one.
I bought all the ZZ Top reissues that came out. Was it last year?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the October ones, and they all sound phenomenal.
Did they go back to the original mixes?
I don't know. They all sound great though. Because
the 70s mixes, and then in the 80s they re-released all the stuff on CD, and they remixed them with the more 80s sounding drum sound.
I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to do a sound comparison. Maybe that'll be my next sound comparison video.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you, and then the other one is the Cars first album. I went to pull I just got in the mood to hear it, and I went to pull it out, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't have it. I thought I did. I didn't have it on
vinyl.
I had it on CD, so I just grabbed the CD. But in any case, what's next? There's a lot here. Jeez, I don't know how. Oh, want to see what's funny?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the U.S. pressing. Yep. I forgot it was even in there. This stack literally is stuff I was listening to, and
that's all I'm showing. This is all stuff I've listened to the last 3 days while I'm working.
A pile of crap I've been listening to, and I just literally have not put it away yet. But like I said, this is cool. This is like I got it as a gift from Dolphin Dale. I don't know if he's still there or not, but
yeah, we talked about that one. That's what's his name? Phil Keaggy, right?
Yeah, it's a live tour or concert tour they did. So it's the second chapter of Acts. Phil Keaggy and a band called David together. It's pretty, mellow stuff. But Phil Keaggy is just one of my favorite guitar players. So to get a copy that's actually autographed to me from him, that's just something.
Yeah,
special.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. So that's why that one's in there. But that's a bit outside the metal stuff.
Doesn't Dan write for one of the papers or one of the magazines?
Who?
Dan, Dolphin Dan. Am I confusing him with somebody?
Dolphin Dale.
Or Dale, I mean.
I don't think Dale does. Do you, Dale? Are you there?
I may be confusing him with.
I think you're mixing him up with Jeff McCormick.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Jeff McCormick writes for HM Heaven's Metal. And he used to have his own magazine. I can't remember what it was called. Phil is such a sweet guy too. Dolphin Dale said. So he's still there.
So I got one just for you, Scott. I've been playing. I picked this up about 3 weeks ago. We've been talking about all the bootlegs and stuff lately, and this was one that I recently grabbed.
Oh yeah, that's great.
This one's phenomenal.
The sound, it's a radio broadcast, and the sound's really good.
Yeah.
The band was completely drugged out, so they play all sloppy, and it's really raw and edgy.
I love it. I
loved Aerosmith in the 70s live because they were so. It was just so rock and roll. You know what I mean? It wasn't super tight. It was just get out there and get stoned and play.
Isn't this right before what's his name left the band for a couple years?
Was that 77?
This is 78. He left in 79, didn't he?
That's the 79. Yep. So he left right after the Draw the Line tour. They were right in the middle of recording night in the Ruts, and Joe Perry left.
It's a great set too.
It was kind of a Spinal Tap thing. His wife convinced him to leave because he was the band and he should do his own thing. And so, but hey, speaking of that, since I know it's in here because I know I was just listening to it.
No, there you go. I actually have a Japanese pressing of that one that I found somewhere.
I've got 3 pressings of this, which is ridiculous, but I love this album. This one here is one of those gold stamps. Again, I don't care about gold stamps, but what I liked about this one was it has the original press photo in it. So, and it's also a white label promo, which again, I don't really give a crap about that, but
you know what I just found out? Whitford St. John or Whitford St. Holmes, right? Holmes.
Yeah.
You know who the drummer for their first album was, right?
I don't remember.
It's a drummer from Hydra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found that out just recently. That was the reason Hydra broke up in the late 70s because he had got an offer to work with those guys, and he thought he was going to be set because that was going to be the next big band. and it just always kind of.
It could have been. It was a great album. It just
No, it was. It was really good.
But I think this album is great. I mean, this could have been an Aerosmith album if you put Tyler's vocals on this stuff.
That's my favorite of his solo stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this album. And I actually like this version of Let the Music Do the Talking better than the Aerosmith version. I don't know, whatever. Is that Pearl still there? Is that Pearl? What do you think? I know he's an Aerosmith fan, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I heard that one first, but
yeah, I was spinning this one too. Speaking of Aerosmith, I got the little Walmart.
The white vinyl version.
The white vinyl. I already had a super nice copy of this, but I couldn't pass it up.
I had to get one too because that's just the anal collector in me. But I noticed those things are selling for quite a bit of money now on eBay.
You can still buy them if you go to certain Walmarts. It's funny. Billy and I, there's a country album that was released. They did an exclusive through Walmart, and they sold out everywhere, and they were going for $60-$70, and all of a sudden they popped up in all the Walmarts again.
Oh, I speaking of country, there's a little country music surprise in your box that's coming to you.
Okay, cool. Is it the Chipmunk Sing Country?
No, it's not. It's something cool. Something I stumbled across. I collect stuff outside of records and CDs, and I came across this really cool something that's country, and I was like, oh, Steve will dig this, so I grabbed it for you.
I can't wait. No, so I haven't watched the ZZ Top. I've seen it on Netflix that they have the documentary. I haven't watched it yet though. We
talked about this one earlier, and I didn't even realize I forgot I had it in here.
Oh, there you go.
There's a new club. This is the last club in Who.
That was from what, 2016?
Yeah, George Collin vocals. Yeah, this is good. I mean, it's really old school heavy metal. I mean, it's got a modern production, but they're still sticking to their sound. But with George Collin vocals, that guy's just great.
That artwork is great too.
Yeah, it's really cool. What is it called? Who Mourns for the Morning Star? How evil we are evil.
Yeah. So speaking of the Sanctuary.
Yeah, their second album, and then there's also a.
And his vocals are phenomenal on this one too. It was after this though that the vocals were not quite as high on this one as the first one, but after this, all the high vocals were pretty much gone.
And then there was in this right after that was released.
That EP.
That EP was released.
I've got that too. That's great.
Yeah, on the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had they also had that EP that they released. It was part interviews, part songs that they released right before the first album.
I haven't seen that one.
I showed it in one of my last 12-inch videos I did.
Let's see. Yeah, so right there, have you heard solo? I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I have his solo album. I can't even figure out how to get there.
There it is.
There. It's a signed copy of the Gibbons. I pre-ordered that from his website. And it's great.
I don't have it, but I've heard it.
Man, it is great.
It's funny because I keep, now that I'm digging into this pile deeper, I keep running into stuff that we talked about. There you go.
Yeah, that's one that always kind of is close to the top of the playlist.
It would be in my, definitely be in my top 5 live albums as well.
Yeah. Well, they would probably be in my top 5 favorite bands of all time too. So
I got a few new bands in here. I forgot what was in here. I just grabbed the pile and brought it.
Here's one, man. I wish these guys would put out another album. Do you have this one, Scott? Orchid, The Mouth of Madness?
Yes, I do. I wish I had their first album though.
Man, this is. I don't have Capricorn either. I really want. And I just saw on their Facebook page they keep saying that every year they say they're in the studio, but it's been, when was this? This was 13. I think they put out that EP in like 2015, and nothing since then.
Sorry.
You're good.
Got distracted. This is another one that we already talked about that's in my pile that I just kind of forgot about. I had to pull it out because I played the new album a bunch of times. Like, man, I need to go play the old one and the last one and just give it a spin and compare it. And
so, what's your favorite Testament album?
I waver and waffle back and forth between the first 3.
You know, the funny thing for me, I would have said their second album for years, and then they released First Strike Still Deadly, and man, I still play that at least once a month. Yeah,
my favorite Testament song is Sins of Omission. Love that song, so I tend to go towards that album, which is what album was that? Third album. Someone tell me the third album.
New whatchamacallit.
No, that was the second album.
Was that the second one?
Yeah, it's dadgummit. Why did
I've
you get
got
on
the Ritual.
The Ritual was the first, right?
No, the first was Legacy.
Legacy's the first.
Yeah.
Was it Trial by Fire? No, it wasn't Trial by Fire. Practice What You Preach.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the order.
But yeah, Sins of Omission's on Practice What You Preach. Then Ultimatum recorded that song.
Yeah.
That was, excuse me, that was like awesome because that wasn't like we chose to record that song. It was Dwell Records back in the day. Remember Dwell Records back in the 90s? They came to us and said, hey, we'll pay you so much money and we'll pay for the studio time if you'll record a Testament song. And we're like, well, what Testament song you guys want to do? And I'm like, has anybody chosen Sins of Omission yet? And they're like, no. I'm like, yep, we'll take it. So we got to record it on that Jump in the Pit Testament tribute CD. It was a lot of fun doing that. Legacy, New Order, Practice What You Preach, exactly. Yep.
I haven't heard the new Wishbone Ash, Fraser. How is it? Is it heavy or is it, Wishbone Ash? You never know what you're going to get.
I think War God told me it was really good. Kevin.
Is it heavy though, or is it straight up rock? I mean, what sound is it? Because they had a number of different sounds throughout their career.
What do I have here? That's not metal.
You want some not metal? Let's see.
Here's one this is metal, but what did you think of this?
I haven't listened to it yet.
I think it's really good.
I definitely get it.
What do you all think of this one? I think it's great.
Their debut album is still, I think, is the best new wave of British heavy metal band album ever released. That's my number one for new wave.
Yeah, I like that album a lot, but that's putting it above bands like Raven and Maiden, and I just can't do it.
I go back and forth between Maiden and that one being my number one.
I mean, Rock Until You Drop's just one of those albums that I played so much over the years. It's always been one of my favorites.
Hey, metal band, I love Souls of Black.
I love Souls of Black a lot.
I feel like that was my introduction to Testament. It may not have been, but I absolutely love that album. That's in my top 3 for them. They also have one of my all-time favorite EPs with Return to the Apocalyptic City. That's like number 1 on my wish list because I think it was only Brazilian pressing, right?
So Metal Ben said, "Yeah, the Angel Witch is excellent. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it could have been the follow-up to the first album to me. It's got that sound to it. I mean, it's obviously got better production values being done now, but yeah." War God said, just as the status quo.
So let's talk about this one a little bit because I know you have this one too.
I do.
Man, I've probably played this one 30 times too.
I don't know if you can see it, but is it right there?
Oh yeah.
I was playing it on CD just like the other day.
This one's another one that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's neat. I don't remember what mine is. It might be that. I can't remember now.
They had 2 different ones. I had this one, and then they had one with like little spots and stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember. Or if they had black, I probably ordered black, but I don't remember.
This was interesting though because it was done by Relapse, but you couldn't buy it on the Relapse website. You had to do it through Bandcamp.
Yeah. I've had the CD version of Live in LA since it came out right around the time.
What is it? Is it In Viva that's got the Live in LA and it's got both of them together?
Yeah.
I have like a 2 CD set with both the live shows.
See, because I've had this when Chuck was going through his cancer stuff.
Yeah.
That live album that came out, and we take it out of that plastic thingy. So yeah, that's the Ivanhoven show. But you can see on the back, support Chuck.
So I have the set that has this and that together in 2 CD set.
Yeah, I didn't buy that because I already had this.
Yeah, well, and those go for crazy money now.
These do or this?
No, that one. The I know.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of I know, look what's in my hand. You can't even plan this. No, I got done listening to Death, and then I pulled this out. I got in a live mood, and man, I love Testament, but man, this is a great set. That Death set, though, this sounds so good.
You know what? After I heard the the Testament one, I realized why it was only an EP, because they pulled off all the songs they botched.
Yeah.
But I like that kind of stuff. It's part of the live scene, you know. It's that the looseness and the rawness of it, and but you can tell, you know, why they chose the songs they chose on EP.
I'm glad they released it as a full album though, instead of just re-releasing the
EP.
The EP again, you know.
Now, I have that one, and I still have the EP because I had the EP forever. But yeah, the last Angel Witch album, As Above, As Below, was really good too. Yeah, it was. What do you think of the new Sierra Thungle?
I don't have it yet.
I don't have it yet. I want it. I don't have it yet.
What are your thoughts on it, Fraser? I mean, sorry, I clicked on the wrong. What are your thoughts on it, Kevin? I've purposely avoided listening to it because it's like with the other ones, with the Testament and everything. I want to hear the whole thing as an album, you know.
Trog said it's awesome. So Trog's pretty
critical. They've never released anything that wasn't awesome.
They put that EP out a year or two ago. I didn't get that one. I wanted to, but it was just so overpriced for 2 songs. I just couldn't do it.
I think they're long songs though, aren't they?
I don't remember. Were they? I don't remember that they were that long, but
here's another one for you to check. Have you checked these guys out yet? Pale Divine?
Never heard them.
They've been around for a while, since the late 90s. Really good doom, though. This is very 70s. Got that. Oh, here you go right here. Traditional doom metal for fans of Pentagram, Black Sabbath, Trouble, and 70s heavy psych rock.
Yes, when I think 70s doom, that's the first thing I think about is Pentagram.
Yeah, and it's definitely going for that. I guarantee Kevin has this.
Victor Griffin.
Just because it's on Shadow Kingdom Records.
You have the Victor Griffin solo album? Did you pick that up from Stone Groove?
Is that the one with him on the motorcycle?
Yeah.
That's an awesome album.
Hey, Kevin, if you don't have that album, you should get it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
If you like Pentagram or that 70s sound, yeah, he's got the
I feel like it's a mix of 70 or Pentagram mixed with Alice Cooper. There's something.
It's kind of more. Yeah, it's got a little more of a 70s, a little more of a 70s feel. Pentagram was a little heavier, you know, like Saint Vitus and those kind of bands. Like it had more of a 70s vibe to it.
Yeah.
The Victor Griffin solo album.
When did that come out? Was that the 80s?
The solo album?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it came out until like the late 90s, or even the 2000s.
Oh, really?
It might have been recorded earlier than that, but that's when it came out. The Stone Groove version, it was available on vinyl too, but really limited, hard to find now. Well, so is all the Place of Skull stuff. That stuff's all really hard to find on vinyl now.
Yeah, I found they did a 10-inch EP, Place of Skulls, and one of my local record stores had a sealed copy of it, but they wanted ridiculous money for it.
Something in Blood, Sealed in Blood, or yeah, I have that.
I don't remember. I don't have any of the Place of Skulls stuff.
I have all the places because I've been a fan so long. As soon as it came out, I just snap it up because I knew stuff's. It's like limited run vinyl stuff. It just once it disappears, the price is double and triple.
Yeah, who's the singer for Place of Skulls?
They've had several, but Scott Wino, whatever.
Yeah, Wino, that okay, yeah.
He sang on one album, but Victor Griffin does most of the vocals.
Wino's kind of famous for that, isn't he? There's like 10 bands where he did like the first album and then disappeared and never recorded with them again.
Yeah, it wasn't their first album. He sang on their second album, but yeah, only one album. That was it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he did that with, is it Spirit Caravan? It's another really good album. It's phenomenal. And then he did one album. But what's funny is you know, Obsessed is his main band, and that's I don't like the Obsessed stuff.
They're okay. I really like the stuff he did with Saint Vitus.
Oh no, the Saint Vitus stuff is amazing.
Yeah,
that's what I like. All of the Saint Vitus stuff, but the stuff with him is my favorite by far. But you would think I like all of his other projects, but for some reason I've got all the Obsessed albums. I just can't get into them. They just released that new one. Was it last year, or the year before? Bought it, disappointed again. I don't know. I don't know what it is with that one.
I couldn't tell you.
So this one actually came from you. I've been spinning this quite a bit lately too.
Oh, Atomic Rooster. Yeah,
this one's really good. I need to get their debut.
Hi, Roxy. My dog just came in the room. I'm home by myself, so the dog just came in to say hi and make some noise. Sorry. Speaking of doom metal, here's some Genesis.
Is that the one that you got signed?
No, I got this different one. This is Selling England by the Pound. But I just got in the mood to hear some one day, and it's like I'm gonna hear some Gabriel era stuff, so I pulled it out. So yeah, this is when it was still Rutherford and Hackett and Banks and all those guys were a part of the band still. But yeah, you're the one who got me the signed copy from
Oh yeah.
Steve
From England, from Steve Hackett, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't this album. But I've been a Genesis geek since I was a kid, so
That may be the one I got signed, because I know that's one of them that I bought signed.
yeah, it's a great. I don't know. I love all their stuff. I even like the cheesy stuff with Phil Collins.
I love the Phil Collins stuff.
I like his solo stuff too, especially his first solo album. That's one of my go-to relax albums.
I've got that greatest hits double album that came out a couple years ago. It's really good.
So, Kevin, did you like The Obsessed? Nothing wrong with some Genesis, you know that. Genesis are awesome.
Yeah.
I even an album like Abacab or Duke, where it's got the hits you've heard a million times. They're still very proggy records. I mean, the song Abacab was a hit, but it's a 7 or 8 minute song, and it's just a big old jam.
I like that one. I like I don't know. I like all the stuff that they released. It didn't matter the era. I love everything that they even the poppy stuff from what was the one with the hand on it? Invisible Touch.
Invisible Touch. Yeah, even those albums got. I mean, they had a lot of hits then, but even those albums had the more proggy stuff mixed in there too.
So, what are your thoughts on this one?
I like it. I don't have it, but I've heard it.
It's crazy what originals of this are going for.
Yeah.
This is the repress from a couple years ago. I bought this one in Phoenix while we were there too.
All right, I can't say it anymore. Allergies drive me crazy. I'm like, my nose is itching. I can't scratch it. I'm on video.
No, just scratch it.
I'm like all stuffy.
The only thing that I can't stand about this is that the second side is 20 minutes of a black mass.
Yeah.
It could have been 20 minutes of great music,
Yeah.
It's so cheesy.
I don't own it. Yeah, I don't own it. I got a 70s record next too, but it's much different style than that.
Yeah.
Trooper.
Oh, Trooper.
Trooper's first album.
I haven't heard that one.
It's a little less because as they got on, they got a little more. I don't want to say poppy. They kind of had that power pop.
They
sound.
kind of got heavy, and then they kind of went like an AOR route, maybe.
Yeah, this album is just pure heavy hard rock. There's nothing poppy about it whatsoever. They weren't going for power pop or any of that kind of stuff. It's just pure heavy rock and roll. Really good album from them. And actually, Greeno, you remember Greeno, right? He actually sent me a really beat up copy of this. He goes, I have an extra one. Just give it a listen, see if you like it. And he goes, if you like it, he goes, give it away to someone else to check out and buy yourself a better copy. So I did. And I bought it. I was like, this is great. So that's how I became a Trooper fan, was hearing this record first.
Well, that's how we all got into Hydra.
Yeah.
He sent you that beat up copy of Hydra, and then you sent that to me. And now I've got all their albums. I know the guitar player. Did I tell you about that? Did I know the guitar player?
Oh, no. I don't think you did.
Yeah. So right down the road from me is a custom guitar shop. And I've been going there for years to buy my strings and stuff. And I was talking to somebody at a record store. He's like, hey, yeah, you know the guitar shop right there. That's Ian from Hydra. I was like, what? So, and I'd known him for years. And he doesn't talk about it. So I had no idea that was the guy from Hydra.
That's funny.
So let's see what else we got. Lucifer.
I'm gonna go through some real quick because I have a lot here. And then, Moxie's great. Their first album is my favorite and always will be. But their whole catalog was good.
The first three are must-have records. The first one though, with help me out.
I know you're talking about Deep Purple.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy. Yeah.
Tommy Boy. There you go. You know who Kevin would have shot me if I forgot that one. He was one of his favorite guitar players.
No, I was just listening to T-Rex, so I had Mark Bolan on my mind.
Yeah, I do. You know what? I do that all the time.
I do it all the time.
I'm gonna go through a few real quick, but
yeah, I've got that one. I love that album.
This is a great album. This is a great heavy rock album. the pinnacle of this band, if you ask me. They went.
I was about to say that's my favorite Guardian album.
They went so downhill after this, but their first 3 albums are great, but they were just on a roll here. And this is actually a concept album. They were really inspired by Sgt. Pepper's on this one as far as the concepts going. But yeah, this is a great record, and I think Retroactive really put some money into this thing to get it to sound the best they can. And then how often do you get a bonus 7-inch with a bonus track? So that was really cool. And the color of the vinyl is cool too. So this is one that was worth what were they charging for it? $35 or something like that.
Yeah, remember, I grabbed it though. I couldn't order that one fast enough. I've wanted that on vinyl since it came out. I love that album.
Yeah, it's like a red with white and it's hard to see, but white and black splatters.
They've done a good job with all of the limited run vinyl with getting the colors to match the artwork.
Well, after
random stuff.
After the debacle of the random colors that they started with, and they started doing they were just getting so many browns and pinks they were not happy with it.
Every one of mine from that era, from that first run, is either it's some shade of purple
or pink. Yeah, and they were just. It was like, it's supposed to be various colors, and why are we getting so much of the same color for various colors? So yeah, that's why
I was on a 70s kick the other day, so that's why I had the Covenant and the Atomic Rooster. I played this as well. Probably my second favorite of the Uriah Heep albums.
That's funny. I played that CD not just this past week as well.
This German pressing too, actually.
Yeah, I got a bunch. That's funny. I'm getting. You can tell, Trooper. I was on a 70s kick.
Yeah.
This is a Record Store Day 108-gram version of it. I don't know. I didn't ever realize. I didn't snap till the other day, but they're all. I don't know if you can see it, but they're all numbered.
Oh no! Yeah, all the Record Store Day ones are numbered.
Yeah,
that's how you can tell the Record Store Day. They did the same thing with the Jimi Hendrix. So when the Hendrix family released the Record Store Day ones, they're numbered, and then they would release them the same pressing after Record Store Day, and they wouldn't have the numbers on them.
And then another one from the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is not one of their more popular. There you go. We're in a 70s kick now, guys.
This one's 69.
Yeah, that's 69.
If I remember correctly.
It is. It's 69, but still fits in that time area. But a lot of people hate this record. I don't know why. I think it's a great album from them.
A lot of people hate this one too.
Well, and with that one, you understand because it's a different singer, a different style, But
who was on this?
Book of the Water and My Woman from Tokyo, and that's just
Rod something, right?
And there's a lot of covers on that album, from what I remember.
Yeah, no, it is. Oh, well, it's got River Deep, Mountain High.
Paul Kaskoff is up there with Tommy Bowen. Yep, great guitar player.
Woman.
You guys need some White Witch. Yes, we do. Yeah, and Draw the Line.
White Witch albums are absolutely phenomenal.
Draw the Line was Aerosmith at their most drug-addled.
You weren't paying attention, Justin, because we've talked about Thin Lizzy like 4 times, and he just showed Live and Dangerous.
I did. Yeah. Let's see, and then let's get out of the 70s and move into the early 80s.
Oh, see, I haven't grabbed that one. I have the CD of that. I haven't grabbed the vinyl.
The vinyl is interesting. I've always loved the live tracks from this recording because they were always part of the 12-inch and 7-inch singles B-sides. So I've had a bootleg CD where someone took all the songs from those 7-inch albums and the 12-inch and put them all together in the correct order. And so I love those recordings. So it's a little weird hearing them in a different order and with the intros being different from the from Dee Snider. But his band banter his crowd banter is as good as the music on that thing. That guy was definitely a showman.
We were talking about Ted Nugent's crowd banter the other day.
Oh yeah, Double Live Gonzo.
Well, no, it's funny how you've seen his banter deteriorate over the years. He's just gotten crazier. Like I've got like 15 bootlegs of his, and you could see him get cussing more and more political as he goes on, but the music always stays phenomenal.
I'm not a big cusser, but we were watching Ted Nugent. My wife and I would see Ted Nugent. We got front row, and we were listening to him. And he's talking about some political rant, and he's like, "And for all you," and he's just going on. He's all angry, and he's got his guns, and he's ranting, and he says, "So for all you guys who don't like it, fuck you." And just the way he said it, it was like, fuck you. I was like, I lost it. It was just so funny. So he was in such a rant, and then all of a sudden, just to change it to that weird comedic, cussing, it was hilarious.
Yeah,
But
he cracks me up.
he's always had. I mean, Double Live Gonzo was one of those albums. When I was a kid, I wanted that album in '78, and my aunt bought it for me for Christmas. So for Christmas that year, I got that and Blondie. I can't remember what the Blondie album was that year. I didn't ask for the Blondie; she bought it for me, which was nice. So on the way home from my aunt's house, my mom said to me, "I know what's on that record." She goes, "So you need to give it up." She goes, "I know there's a lot of cussing on it." I was like, "All right, Mom, here you go." And I gave her the Blondie record.
So Paul Stanley's banter, let me tell you, the older he gets, the more he sounds like the stereotypical old Jewish lady. On this last tour, his voice, he sounds like the old Jewish ladies from the movies and stuff. It cracks me up.
I'm gonna do. I got one more here. Back to the thrash.
Oh, there you go. I have that on CD. I don't have the vinyl.
Yeah, this is an old Steamhammer pressing, but German Teutonic thrash, whatever. I don't know.
That's a German pressing. Yeah, I love trapeze, man. I've got 3 of the trap. I think there's 4 with Glenn Hughes, right? Trapeze.
Yeah, trapeze are great too. When I saw Twist Sister in 2014, he was still running around on stage like 80s. It was awesome. Yeah, the guy's got a ton of energy. That's their best. They never beat that album. I'm sorry, that's just their best album they ever did.
Actually like Awake a little bit better.
I like Awake too, but when it comes to having a mixture of progressiveness, technique, and hooks,
yeah,
nothing beats that album.
That 2-album punch though was amazing. And honestly, I didn't like anything that they released again. Everything else I just thought was okay until their newest album, which is phenomenal. Have you checked that out yet?
No, I haven't. I have a lot of their stuff, and it seemed like it started becoming technique over songwriting after a while. Look how technical we are, and look how long our songs can be.
And that's the way it got, and I literally lost interest. I've got like six of their albums, but I listened to that, Awake, and I've been playing the hell out of it. Their newest album was my top 3 last year.
I saw them a few times, and one of the tours I saw them on, the singer would walk off stage for like 15 minutes at a time while the band was just jamming, and they literally were losing the crowd. People were just leaving. the beer line was huge during Dream Theater.
Petrucci has always been a douchebag. I've never been a fan of his. He's a guitar player. Don't get me wrong. His ego has just always driven me crazy.
Yeah, nobody can rival Yngwie Malmsteen when it comes to egos.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, and what's funny, though, is in Mark Portnoy, as good as he is on there, man, if the stuff he did with, is it Flying Colors? And
yes.
Man, the stuff with Flying Colors is phenomenal. I can't believe that band is not bigger than they are.
Yeah, I'm reading some of the comments here. Awake is my favorite Dream Theater. Awake's great. Yep.
Baker Gurvitz, isn't that the guys from Gun that went on to do Baker Gurvitz's Army? I may be confusing them with somebody else, but I'm kind of feeling like that is it. Let's see. Man, I would have loved to see Ted Nugent in '78. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I saw my first time seeing him was in '83. So it was still the same in '83. So
I'm trying to think.
And then I saw him with Alcatraz in '84, '85. Alcatraz opened up with Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar. No, it had to be '84. It was '84.
It was Steve Vai, right?
Yeah. So because it was Alcatraz with Yngwie. So Yngwie was opening for Ted Nugent, and it was at Six Flags Great Adventure. That's where they played that. Actually, it was one of the, me and my wife. She was my girlfriend. Went on that one at the time, and my ex-girlfriend went to the show as well, and slipped some drugs into my now wife's drink. And she got really violently ill during the show. Quaaludes or something like that. She stuck in her drink.
We went to one of the Ozfests, maybe 2005, 2006, and we were watching What's Jamie Josta's band? I can't think of the name of the band. Anyway, so yeah, somebody was getting high right next to her, and she ended up getting. It was like 110 degrees out in Phoenix, with 4,000 people, surrounding us and blowing pot smoke in her face. She got so sick, she ended up throwing up on the guy next to her that was blowing smoke in her face. It was hilarious. But let's see.
So I said, if you want prog metal, try Fates Warning. They're a better band. I love Fates Warning, but I've been a Fates Warning fan since the Arc era, so I find it hard to love non-Arc era stuff as much as I love the Arc era stuff. So,
that'd have been cool. April Wine open, and April Wine in '78, man. That was Hatebreed. Thank you. April Wine in '78. That was April Wine at their best, in my opinion.
Yeah, April Wine were great. Well, right up through 80, 81, 83. Because what year did Nature of the Beast came out? That had to be what?
That was early '80s.
Yeah, 81. And after that, they started going more AOR-ish, and they're okay, but I don't like them as much. So
yeah, that's '70s stuff though. I think 78. That was about the time of First Glance. Is that First Glance? Yeah, right around that era. Let's see. I got one more to show, and I think
that was Roxy. Roxy made her debut on camera right there. My dog.
She
come up for 5 seconds and drop back down.
So that's the last one I got to show.
Down. Okay. I never seen Down. I've seen Superjoint Ritual, I believe. Which one had Hank in it? Hank the Third.
Superjoint Ritual.
I saw Superjoint Ritual live.
Yeah, they played bass. I liked that album when it first came out. I remember thinking it was really good, and then I don't know. I go back and listen to it now. I think it's a terrible album.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Anselmo. After he was a great singer on Power Metal and even on Cowboys from Hell. After that, I don't know. And he when I went to see Superjoint Ritual, it was like Ozfest or something like that. I went with Rob Whitlock from Ultimatum, and him and I were walking in as they went on the stage, and we're walking into the show, and you could hear him between songs, in between banter. He was so messed up.
Yeah.
And his I mean, excuse the language, but well, you fucking fuckers, I am the fucking new metal god, you fuckers. I'm like, come on, you can't even say a sentence without using the F word 10 times. We counted between two songs 43 times. He used the F word.
I thought he was still good. I like all the Pantera albums, but after the second album, if you saw him live anytime after that, he couldn't get through the songs. He was so high on heroin. And he would go into these rants. And now he can barely, I don't know if you've seen interviews with him lately, he can barely talk now. Yeah. It's like super slow.
Did I send you my Japanese pressing of Walk? The Walk?
Yeah, actually, it's right there. Yeah. I was looking at that yesterday. I was looking for something else and saw that. Yeah, so Down, I love all the guys in Down. I mean, you got Pepper Keenan, you've got Kurt from Crowbar. I mean, they're all guys that I absolutely love. But yeah, Phil Anselmo he's destroyed himself. Yeah. Hey, Mitch, how you doing, buddy? So let's talk Christian metal a little bit, man. What do you kind of think the state of Christian metal is the last couple years?
There's not a whole lot of good coming out, new stuff. It's if you follow, I'm on about 50 different Christian metal boards on Facebook and whatnot, and everybody praises Demon Hunter as being the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and then I
think they're okay.
I tried. I'm like, I must be missing something here, because everybody loves these guys. Bill Bafford from Rocks, they're one of his favorite bands, and Matt Hunt from Retroactive, he loves them. And I'm listening to him, I'm just like, I don't get it. It just doesn't appeal to me. It's like a mixture of modern metalcore, and modern rock.
Yeah, when I first heard them, and it's good that they crossed over into the mainstream for a while there, and they were touring with some big bands, but I always thought they were okay. I actually like I like Impending Doom. I'm not a big deathcore fan, but Impending Doom has a really cool sound.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Where's the real metal bands? There aren't any. There's a couple of real thrash bands.
Ritual Servant. That's my favorite album from last year.
Ritual Servant are fantastic. They have their EPs coming out soon too on CD.
Yeah, already pre-ordered it.
Yeah, it's but what else? There's a band called Perpetual Paranoia with Dale Thompson singing on them.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. The new albums have been great, though.
Yeah. The Perpetual Paranoia, great musicianship, really good production, screaming vocals. Dale's a great vocalist. What's missing from it, I think, is hooks. You listen to it and you're 3 songs in, and I tried. I just this morning played it in my car on the way to work. It's you start fading off because you're not paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
Is Trouble still white metal? I don't think Trouble ever really were.
They never were.
I think Trouble were labeled that by Metal Blade Records as a marketing gimmick.
Actually, Dan or Dale.
Yes, I do like the New Saint. Matter of fact, I like the New Saint so much I bought a copy for somebody else.
Have you spun this yet?
Yes, Redeemer, 1990 release.
Yeah, I've got that New Saint here.
Yeah, New Saint's great.
Yeah, it's here in my stack of stuff that I still need to clean.
New Saint is great, but if you're looking for the same Saint you heard on it's different. It's good, but it's different.
Yeah, I really like this though. What's
Metal Band? Grab the EP. It's only $7 right now at what is that? Rocksrecords.com. It's their first EP. Was never released before on CD.
I've got one of the Diviners, Brendan. They're Australian, aren't they?
Who's that? Diviner, I believe so. And that album was originally released like late in 1990. Sounds like 1985, but
what's funny, Scott and I, what was it, like a week ago, we were just talking about Steel Prophet.
Yeah, I love Steel Prophet. The only thing I don't have from them is that box set that was recently released, just because I haven't had an extra $150 to throw away.
So Believer is also one of my favorite Christian metal bands. I didn't like their last album though. The one that came, what's the one that came out last year or the year before?
Well, you're talking about the actual album, or you're talking about the album they released digitally only?
No, what was the one that just got?
What was that white album with I can't remember the name of the album.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
Me either. It was okay. They actually put out another album after that, but it's digital only. You couldn't. I listened to it once online, and I just won't pay money for a digital. Put it out on vinyl or CD, and I'll buy it.
The debut is amazing, though. It's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's a lot of great reissues coming out of Christian metal stuff right now, but there's just not a lot of new stuff that I'm really digging.
It feels like that was a moment in time. You know what I mean? That early to mid '90s, man. There was just so much good stuff coming out.
Like 88 through 95, somewhere in that area. It was like metal was dying everywhere else, but Christian metal was still putting out all this great stuff.
I think it was one of those things because of the whole satanic craze and everybody was pushing to Satan. There was almost like there had to be like a counterbalance to it. Yeah, the Early Living Sacrifice is awesome. Those first couple albums are great.
I was looking to see if I actually had any other ones sitting over here. No, I don't. This is all CDs that I've been spinning recently.
How would you describe the Redeemer?
Very, very slow, doomy, traditional metal.
Yeah, that's like the epic.
Yeah, epic. If you like Seer Thungle or they really reminded me of Manila Road. Manila Road. That's
Manila Road. There we go.
Manila Road with female vocals, right? Is that?
I'm still kicking myself for missing Manila Road. They came through like 2 months before he died, and he was a real great guy too. And I did that review. What's his name? The singer from Manila Road. Do you remember?
Mark the Shark Shelton.
Yeah.
Oh, the singer. Mark the Shark Shelton was a guitar player. He was the original singer, but they had a singer on those last few tours. Mark doesn't sing anymore.
No, I did a review of that last album that they did. Not the last one, the one before.
I gotta want to see the next two No Left to Metal vinyl releases.
Oh yeah, let's see it. I already know what it is, but oh no, I didn't know about that one.
Mass Sea of Black and Crack of Dawn by the two Mass. These have never been released on vinyl, and the CDs sell for stupid prices now. So we made a deal with Lewis from Mass to re-release those. So pretty excited about those. So that'll be the next two vinyl releases on No Left to Metal. next CD release on No Lights on Metal Records will be oh
Bangalore
crap,
Choir.
huh?
Bangalore Choir.
No, that's actually well, yeah, that's on sale now. Bangalore Choir is, but we signed another band who and dadgummit, now I'm gonna forget the name. I have to look. It's gonna drive me crazy. Don't you hate when you get on video and all of a sudden you become stupid?
Yeah.
Give me. I don't know. Can you still see me? I'm on my computer,
No,
but
yeah, Dale.
Hellbender. I remembered it. Before I got there. Hellbender.
They've been Striper's been posting regular updates on their Facebook, showing little clips from the studio.
Yeah, Hellbender's the next CD release from, and they're a new band out of California, thrash band, but they have some groove elements in there too. You can tell that they have some early Pantera influences in their sound, but they're also huge fans of Reverend and Metal Church and that style. So I hear a lot of that in their sounds as well. So yeah, that's Hellbender's going to be the next CD release on No Lights on Metal Records. And it's never been released before, so it's a new album. Veil of Deception. I love that album.
So how did that one end up selling?
It went all right, not as well as I'd hoped.
Yeah.
Just people don't know who they are. I love that album. I think it's one. I listed it really high in my releases. It would have been higher in my releases for that year if not for the fact that I know everybody would be like, oh, you just put it there because it's on your label. Well, it's on my label because I like it so much.
That's a great album. I think what hurts them is it was a band I knew of. I always thought they were a metalcore band, though.
Because of the name?
The name, it sounds like a metalcore band.
Yeah, it's not. It's just straight up metal.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have that one? Dolphin Dale, do you have that one?
You guys have Veil of Deception?
I'm just curious because it's a good album.
I really like the one before this too. I played the one before this. I've been playing quite a bit the last few months.
Yeah, they're both great. Daniel's a great singer. I describe him as Vince Neil if Vince Neil could sing.
And then I got a huge kick. You started me on this kick.
Oh, Voivod.
No, this album in particular.
Oh, yeah.
After you showed it on vinyl, I would love to get that on vinyl. But man, that's one of my favorite Voivod albums right there.
Yeah, Jurgen hooked me up with that one.
Yeah, that's amazing. That one's well. That one, and what else did you show? You also showed that Trouble album. What's the one? The one after their self-titled, the psychedelic sounding one.
Oh yeah. So like I said, get on video and be stupid. Manic Frustration.
There we go. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that album, but I would still love to have that vinyl pressing of it.
I would like to have either of those two albums, those two Def Jam albums. Why don't they release them? I don't get it.
I was lucky. I got that one for so cheap. I don't know. It's one I got online, the self-titled one. I just don't think they knew what it was worth. Yeah,
Dolphin Dale said he's got it. War Guy said he's got it. Metal Ben says he needs to hear it. You don't need to buy it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not
you like it, metal, man. It's definitely in your wheelhouse.
It's just straightforward metal, very, very inspired by traditional heavy metal, but a little more progressive.
Yeah.
And the vocals are very unique. He sings. He doesn't growl. He's not a thrash metal vocalist. He sings, but he's got a very, I don't want to say high, because I think of like Nitro, Jim Gillette, and it's not like that. Like I said, Vince Neil, if Vince Neil could sing.
Vince Neil could sing in like 1981.
Vince Neil never could. Vince Neil was a great frontman.
Oh, he's an amazing frontman.
Just like David Lee Roth or I'm not a singer. I've always been a frontman in Ultimatum. I was, I barked out vocals, but Daniel sings. The guy's got a voice and he's got range and he can sing.
You know what the difference between those two is, though? David Lee Roth and Vince Neil. I've seen Motley Crue like 6 times, and even their farewell tour. I saw videos back of how bad he sounded, but when I was at the show, it was a blast. I don't remember thinking, man, he sounds terrible. I had the time of my life. Yeah. The last time I saw Van Halen, I was like, man, he sounds like shit the whole show.
So a little big for Danzig on that tour.
Yeah, Danzig is hit or miss. I've seen him twice. The first time I saw him, he was terrible.
I saw him in Phoenix a few years. Actually, I saw Prong opening for Danzig a few years ago in Phoenix, and He was good. I mean, I'm just never been a big fan of his, but they were
Yeah,
good.
you know how the Gods Kill came out, and that one just hit me the right way. And I was already a Misfits fan by that point, but and a Sam Hain fan, but I had never really gotten into Danzig. I didn't like Mother when it came out, but something about that third album really hit me, and then I went back and really got into the first two.
Right on. So we're at like an hour and 40 minutes.
Ready to call it a night?
Yeah, we should probably. I love doing these things, and I like watching them, but sometimes they get like 3 and 4 hours long, and like, I'm never going to watch all that.
That one that Billy and I did on Sunday with Brandon and Mitch went for 4 hours.
I know. I saw it. I watched bits and pieces of it, but 4 hours, I'm never going to be able to watch the whole thing.
We just got on tangents. So for those of you guys watching, we're going to do another one on Sunday with Scott, and we're going to be talking about bands that we got turned on to over Headbangers Ball, watching Headbangers Ball back in, what was it, 88 when that started, 88 or 89 when that show came on?
Yep, I can think of one right off the top of my head.
Oh, as soon as they gave me as soon as Billy brought up that idea, I had two of my all-time favorite bands I found out about on that show.
Yeah, right on.
So, yeah. And I'm going to have like 3 others set aside.
Is Sunday coming?
Somebody else.
Is that this Sunday?
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
Cool. What time?
I believe it'll be the same time.
Cool. Around this time on Sunday. So there you go.
Yeah, because we're all 3 in different time zones. And I'm not sure where's Chris live at? Chris Hansen.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he's going to be on there too. For you guys who don't know Chris Hansen, he's great too. He was the drum tech for Anthrax for a number of years. So
he probably East Coast then. He's probably New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, in that area somewhere.
I don't know. Do they all live there now? I thought the couple have lived in California now.
Yeah, they might. I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows? It's
so crazy. And I'm friends with the guitar. I've told you about this. I'm good friends with the guitar player from Seether, and the whole band except for him is originally from South Africa, but all 4 of them live in different parts of the country, nowhere near each other, and they just kind of meet up in Nashville for every couple months for about a week to record.
Right on. I think Dale Thompson, speaking of Perpetual Paranoia, I think he lives in Europe somewhere now. So,
oh man, Dale brings up a good point. We forgot to mention Free Kings.
Free Kings are great. Yeah, they're a good thrash band. I don't know that they call themselves a Christian band though. I'm pretty sure they don't. But
no, I think they're one of those bands that say that they're Christians that are in a metal band or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some songs that are biblically based, but they also have songs they got a song about beer.
So, oh man, Billy just brought up a great point. We may have to push.
You're right. I forgot about that too.
We're gonna push that to Monday. We'll all get together and talk about that then.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, we definitely can't do it on Sunday.
I did forget that.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, James Rivera, we were just talking about him, Fraser. He's, for both of us, he's a favorite singer of ours.
Yeah, he's up upper echelons of metal singers, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely up there.
That's why we were talking to him, because we were talking about Banshee, and their Banshee singer is up there too. So
no, we were talking about Sanctuary.
And him too, yeah. And Cloven Hoof.
James Rivera still sounds awesome. They're working on a new album, or they're about to work on a new album. I just saw a post from them on their website.
Right on.
They're either in the studio or they're about to go into the studio. So,
boy.
Well, let's call it call it a night, because we're going to keep going if we don't.
Yeah, it's good seeing you guys. Everybody on there.
Going by, what do you got coming out? Just run through it real quick.
On No Less Metal Records, we've got Bangalore Choir on vinyl and CD. We've got on Rocks Records, Recon, Behind Enemy Lines, Vengeance Rising. I just had it in front of me too. Vengeance Rising's Human Sacrifice and Once Dead. Yes, we're almost dead. My wife just said, "Are you almost done?" Vengeance Rising's first 2 albums on CD and vinyl. Let's see, Tamplin and Friends is coming out, which is Axe to Grind. That's a great album. Have you ever heard that album?
The 2 Tamplin albums I have are the ones you sent me, and I can't remember what the titles are.
No, you don't have an Axe to Grind then. An Axe to Grind was his first solo album, and it's got let's see, Laddie Cordola does a lot of the guitar work on there from House of Lords, and it's actually House of Lords drummer and bass player playing on that album.
Okay.
And then it's got it's just got so many guest artists I can't even remember them all right now. Scott Van Zandt, Marty Friedman. There's just so many great guitar players on that album, including Ken Tamplin. And then on Retroactive Records, we have coming out Tourniquet's Stop the Bleeding on vinyl, and all three, the first three Tourniquet albums are coming out on CD. The other two are coming out on vinyl as well, just down the road a little bit. And as well as, like I said, we were talking earlier about Deliverance. And then also the Paradox.
That's the other one I'm looking forward to. That one and the.
Now that one, I suggest listening to the clips because that'll pull you in.
Yeah,
that's a great album. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming out.
All right, guys, take care.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.